think Tory MP Therese Coffey has to be one of the most monotone politicians to grace the interview circuit. Added to this, she rarely has any information to hand, seeming pretty blasé about what she's being questioned about. Before we get to 5 examples of Coffey at her worst, here's a little sample of Coffey not answering the question.
Risk in UK financial stability. Thoughts on that?
Well, it's news to me as well, and I suggest that...
But you're the Deputy Prime Minister, you have to have views on these things.
I've just been sat here for the last 10 to 15 minutes.
You weren't expecting it?
It's a matter, dare I say it, for the Chancellor. I'm sure that you can follow up with the Chancellor today. I'm not aware of the details of exactly what's happened this morning. The short briefing message I've had from Treasury is it's a technical financial stability, but no definitive statement can be made about changes to benefit rates. Otherwise, of course, we'll end up getting into all sorts of legal cases in a different way as well. I'm a member of the government. We have a government view. That government view has not yet been established. Well, no decisions have been made, John, and I used to undertake that role, and the Secretary of State has to wait until all the evidence is placed in front of her.
Surely you can answer Susanna's question. It's really simple. What do you personally think, irrespective of what the eventual decision is, do you think that benefits should be linked to inflation or not? It's a dead simple question. We'd like to know what you think.
I'm not going to second guess. I mean, this is the joy of being in government, that we work together as a team. It's not a case of having all sorts of individual personal views.
Here we see another of Coffey's interview techniques, the word salad. Watch this and see if you can understand what the hell she's talking about.
What are you going to do to actually try and avert the strike action, though, Therese Coffey?
Well, I think we're not going to be able to change the pay settlement that we've already announced. I say it was what we accepted from the independent pay review body. But I am aware and... that these situations can be challenging. That's why the government is already acting in different ways to help people with the cost of living challenge. It's why we are today repealing the health and social care levy. So instead of it being individual taxes, that this support for the health and social care gets paid from general taxation. And indeed, the amount of money we've already given, £37 billion was already set out, particularly focused on low-income families. But the extra support that we are giving to households and indeed to businesses and indeed hospitals with the cost of energy. And people are seeing that impact already in the helping to bring down inflation forecast estimates, but also the challenges that people were facing with their business budgets as well.
Cups!
I ask as new Environment Secretary, what are you doing in your own life to address climate concerns?
Well, I've always tried to keep the good habits that I got into in regards to when I was Environment Minister before. So the use of kind of cups, as it were, to be about permanent cups, but it's that we can recycle properly or reuse, I think, is a better way of doing it. But we just all have to keep thinking about the amount of packaging we endure or food waste and other elements like that. So I'll be getting back very much being a champion for those habits, which is about improving what we can do every day in order to help tackle the environmental challenges we face.
No extra information.
Is it true that the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, asked civil servants to arrange a private speed awareness course after she was caught speeding?
Well, I've only read the newspapers like your good self. I haven't got any extra information not aware of any further details on that.
So do you have the Home Secretary's phone number?
Do I have her phone number? I probably do somewhere.
Why didn't you message her then?
Well, because I think it's a case of there's some speculation in the newspaper. I'm not going to get into individual details. As far as I'm aware, there's people close to the message or whoever, the press. But, you know, candidly, this is just a case of something that happened, I guess, over a year ago. I don't quite know the details. I can only read I'm only aware of what was in the newspaper.
The issue isn't whether or not she does the course. No one would raise an eyebrow if she was caught speeding and did a course. The issue is the allegation that she asked civil servants to try and get her a private speed awareness course. I mean, that's clearly not in the remit of what civil servants are supposed to do, is it?
Well, I think it's a case of reading that it was decided that civil servants shouldn't get involved in that. That's the details. that I just don't have, Sophie. And I don't make it my business to go around phoning people at 7:20 in the morning when I've just read a bit of newspaper to look into this.
Do you not? Do you just don't think it's a big deal if it's true then? Because you seem to be quite relaxed about it. It is a big deal, isn't it? She's asking the taxpayer-funded civil service to get involved in her personal affairs.
I think that what I've said is I've scanned the newspapers myself this morning before coming on the show. I'm not in the business of phoning people at about 7:20 in the morning to try and get chapter and verse from
Choosing Liz Truss to be the next PM.
Our approach to levelling up to make sure that we have prosperity right across the country in terms of making sure that wherever you are, in any part of the UK, that we continue to support the United Kingdom. But also, Liz as a girl, went to primary school in Paisley, went to secondary school, comprehensive school in Leeds, and she really has made sure along the way she has that empathy with people. She has that challenge as a local MP, making sure representing her constituents when the ambulances are not showing up. She has that in terms of a loving family and absolutely respectful of community. So in terms of going forward, she is one Liz Truss, and I have great confidence in her, great track record of delivery, credible, and to hit the ground running from day one.
Talking crap, this is included here just for Martin Lewis's review of Coffey's interview answers.
What has made a lot of our viewers really cross is not just, as Lynn Pritchard is asking, why has the government over years allowed sewage to be discharged into rivers and seas, but why, she emails, do we as consumers have to pay extra for this to be cleaned up? Because yes, the companies are promising billions on this, but those billions are going to go onto our bills. Why should consumers pay?
Well, one thing is very clear: consumers will not be paying for the penalties or fines that the Environment Agency can levy, and indeed Ofwat as well. So there's an element there where that is already has to be taken account, that the polluter pays principle. In regards to ongoing investment, there's been a record amount of investment that we've seen since privatisation.
It was nice, at least after your questions on sewerage, to finally be able to say accurately that that was a politician definitely talking crap.
And here is a little bonus, is the moment she walked out on Piers Morgan.
So are you saying that the reason for us having the worst death rate in the world is because of the public? They're too old and they're too fat?
I think that's a very insulting thing that you've just said.
You just said it.
I'm conscious that there's a variety of factors which will have led to people sadly being ill during this time, sadly that translating into deaths. I'm conscious that this is a very serious impact. Our own Prime Minister was in hospital in intensive care himself last April. I'm conscious that we are wanting to make sure we have a wraparound support.
Sorry, what did you find insulting,
which we have done
Ms.
throughout
Coffey?
this pandemic.
Out of interest, what did you find insulting? You said two reasons for the fact we have the worst death.
I also need to point out that you started this in too late. Unfortunately, I have to go to other broadcasters as well. And I wish that we'd had more time when we were.
Well, you can come back anytime. We haven't seen you.
I appreciate that.
I haven't interviewed you since May, so you can come back anytime. It was you that boycotted the programme, right? So please don't play the "you haven't given me enough time" card, because we gave you 8 months and you didn't turn up.
Let me ask you this. Thank you very much for this.
Yeah, but
we were due to start at 8:15.
I understand it.
I'm really excited about the opportunity to kickstart for young people.
I understand.
But I'm sorry, Piers, I'm going to have to go to another broadcaster.
I just wanted you to clarify, given you said I was insulting.
Piers, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go.
You're going to go. You're not going to explain why you think I was the one insulting.
You've already had 20 minutes of my time. I appreciate your time as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wow. OK. Thank you, Miss Coffey.
More to come, but in the meantime, watch this video of a young Jacob Rees-Mogg and his love of money.